10 reasons couples shouldn't have sex. Part of having a healthy sex life is knowing when not to have sex, be it for your physical, mental, emotional health or that of your partner. Apart from the government's strong advice for social distancing in the midst of COVID-19 outbreak, abstinence from sex seemed to be safest precautionary measure for some. But needless to say, there are also other crucial times when sex really isn't a good idea. If you want more health news updates and sexual health educational topics, please make sure to subscribe our YouTube channel and click the bell icon for you to get notified whenever a new video is released. We spoke to some experts on sex and sexual health to identify the times when couples should really abstain from having sex. Here they are. 1. If you're healing from a UTI, hold off. When you're at the height of a UTI, you're probably too uncomfortable to be in the mood. But even once you start to feel better, you probably shouldn't jump back in the sack right away. According to Diana Rodriguez at Everyday Health, you should wait until you've finished your antibiotics and have been symptom-free for at least 2 weeks. Otherwise, you run the risk of worsening the UTI before it's fully gone, as well as causing yourself pain or discomfort. When seeking treatment for a UTI or any other kind of infection or ailment down there. 2. If you're newly diagnosed with an STI. In men and women, clinicians also recommend refraining from sex when either partner has a newly diagnosed sexually transmitted infection or sexually transmitted disease, such as syphilis, gonorrhea or HIV, until it's controlled by treatment. Then experts recommend taking precautions, such as using a condom and taking medication to prevent its spread. 3. Getting a bikini wax can make skin sensitive. Bikini wax can make your skin particularly sensitive. That's why experts recommend waiting for at least 24 hours after getting a fresh wax before having sex to give your skin plenty of time to heal. 4. Sex during pregnancy is usually fine, barring a few exceptions. Normally, sex during pregnancy is safe because the fetus is protected by its amniotic sac and a mucus plug that blocks the cervix. According to Dr. Riley at Parents.com, however, there are a few conditions that could threaten those safeguards, including ruptured membranes, abnormal location or movement of the placenta, a cervix that opens prematurely, certain STIs, or a history of premature labor. 5. If you've given birth recently, be sure to wait a bit. Although there is technically no required waiting time to have sex after giving birth, the Mayo Clinic recommends 4 to 6 weeks. Having sex before that time can invite complications and disrupt the healing process. 6. If you have a yeast infection, it's best to hold off. Having sex with a yeast infection can make your symptoms worse and can cause pain and infection. Additionally, you can possibly spread the infection to your partner, especially if they have a vagina. 7. Drugs and alcohol can impair your judgment, and thus your ability to consent. If you've or your partner have been partying, proceed with caution. There would be a lot of people who may say having sex when under the influence of drugs or alcohol isn't a great idea. In some ways I agree, because I don't know that you can fully consent if your decision-making abilities are blurred, Franco said. Think about the thin line in that rationale, that having sex under the influence is a bad idea, that leads folks to victim-blaming survivors of sexual assault. Point blank, it is not your fault if you are sexually assaulted, whether you have been drinking or doing drugs or you're stone cold sober. Society needs to put the fault of rape where it belongs, on rapists. 8. Having unprotected sex before a pap test can mess with the results. Think about this before your next appointment. Apparently having unprotected sex up to 48 hours before your OB/GYN appointment can have some unexpected consequences. Semen can interfere with any swabs taken for evaluation. In fact, the existence of semen can mess with the results of a pap smear. Said Jessica Shepard, MD, an assistant professor of clinical obstetrics and gynecology and director of minimally invasive gynecology at the University of Illinois College of Medicine at Chicago. 9. If you're not protected, it's best to stop. You may think it's no big deal, but running out of contraception, no matter what kind you prefer, should be a stopping point for sex. Even having unprotected sex once can put you at risk for STIs or pregnancy. It's best to wait it out and make a pharmacy run before getting it on. 10. Having sex to avoid conflict. Having sex to keep the peace, to be agreeable in order to please a partner or to prevent an argument is the worst kind of idea, Domina Franco, a professional sex educator, told Insider. If your partner is pressuring you to have sex, or you have reason to fear there may be consequences, emotional or otherwise, if you refuse sex, that's coercion. Someone badgering you to have sex until they wear you down into a yes is a sure recipe for disaster, Franco said. Consent needs to be enthusiastic and freely given. What are your thoughts, reactions, or suggestions about the topic? Please comment down below. We'd love to know more from you and on how we can improve this channel.